Hey guys, how you doing? If you're new to this channel, my name is Cilya. If you're not new, hey friends, how you doing? Today's video, I'm basically going to be sharing some tips and some pointers that I use when it comes to looking for the type of locks that you want. Hopefully this advice helps. Okay, so first thing when it comes to choosing the type of locks that you want, you need to be realistic in the versatility and the styles that you want. Yes, locks are very versatile, but I feel like the range of versatility kind of fluctuates with what type of locks you want to get. Say if you get freeform locks, you're not going to have as much versatility as if you get micro locks or smaller type of locks where you can hide them under other hairstyles like braids or wigs and stuff like that. Something else that you want to be realistic about and think about is the maintenance. You gotta think, are you gonna be maintaining it yourself, or are you gonna have to rely on somebody to maintain it for you? Do you have the budget to pay somebody to maintain it for you or to install it for you? Personally, I always knew I wanted smaller locks. I felt like I would feel the most comfortable getting smaller locks because if I wanted to, I could just go bigger and combine them. I tried doing smaller locks myself and I thought I could maintain it myself, but I had no experience doing any type of locks, and I just was I just dove straight into it and spent a week installing like 400 small locks via 2-strand twists. They were free part on top of that. And then when it came time for me to retie it, I just made it up in my head. I was just like, you know what? It's a month. Let me start to retie it. I got so tired, I got frustrated, and I was just like, I can't do this myself. So let me save you going through that and let you know that I tried to install them myself and maintain them myself, and it's a lot of work. So if you want to maintain your locks by yourself, it's going to be a lot of work. The more you retie your hair, the more you maintain it, it gets easier and becomes more familiar, but it's still a lot of work at the end of the day. So you need to think about that when it comes to your maintenance. I believe, I don't know, it depends on if you want your loctician to be washing your hair too and doing styles too, but I personally think micro locks or sister locks are probably the most expensive type of locks that you can get between installing and maintaining. You have to shop around wherever you're living currently, like on Instagram, Facebook, to see who's doing the type of locks that you want, and you have to shop around for how much they're charging for you to do the reties so that you can budget how much you're going to be spending on your hair every month or every couple of months. Go get a consultation, but don't get a consultation from one person. Get a consultation from a few people. I would say like maybe 3 to 4 people to kind of gauge like certain prices, gauge certain experiences as far as like them telling you what's gonna work, gauging the vibe of the person that's doing your hair, because that's important too. Most people or some people just go to one consultation, but it's kind of like if you go to the doctor and you want a second opinion and stuff like that, you'll find different prices everywhere. Like the price that I was paying for to retie my hair before is significantly different than what I'm paying right now to retie my hair. And some of the prices that I hear some people paying for, I'm just like, I would not be able to afford that. So yeah, when you're choosing your locks, make sure it fits within your finances and your budget, and also it fits within your flexibility, like your schedule. Say if you have a job where you're traveling a lot, like you're a flight attendant or a travel nurse or something like that, you want to make sure you have somebody that you can go to in different states, or you have somebody that you can go to that's flexible with the type of schedule that you have. This is very important. If you are tender-headed, or if you don't like sitting in the chair for too long when it comes to getting certain hairstyles done, you need to keep that in mind also, because the type of lock style that you choose or the lock installment that you choose determines how long you're going to be sitting in the chair for reties. If you're more tender-headed, Sisterlocks is probably not the one for you. But this brings me back to consultations, honestly. When you get a consultation, a really good consultation, they'll sit down with you, they'll go through your hair and examine it, examine your texture, examine everything about your hair, even problems or any type of concerns, and they're going to talk to you about what's best for your hair and combine it with what you want for your hair. So you have to voice exactly what you envision for your hair, like how thick you want your locks to be, because that's going to determine how the installment is going to go. Usually they'll put a trial lock in your hair and they'll wait like a couple weeks to maybe like a month or a couple months or something like that to see how it flourishes before you make the decision to get your complete head done. But it's a good way to kind of gauge which direction your hair is going to go into when it comes to maturing. There's loopholes for you to basically get your hair installed and maintained in a more affordable way. Like if you go to someone who's training to get their license, I forgot what they're called, but somebody who's training under somebody who has their license to get their license, but they're not going to school to get their license. It's a cheaper way for you to get your hair installed. That's kind of how I got the first gist of my hair installed, but then the teacher finished my hair and stuff like that. But that's a good way for you to put it in budget, whether it's that or whether it's a boot camp where people are trying to use clients to obtain their license. But you have to keep in mind that you're taking a risk because these people are in school, they haven't gotten their license yet, and you have to have grace with them. Be flexible to certain things when it comes to installing your hair, because usually the longer the hair, it also adds more price wise. So if you do want to cut the price a little bit, you might have to cut your hair. But honestly, I had to cut my hair and I don't regret cutting my hair because I'm longer than my hair is longer than how it was before I even cut it. So, and that was just 2 years. And make sure you do your research in how, if you want to do traditional locks or freeform locks, whatever, make sure you do your research on how to start it and what happens during that journey when you start it a certain way. So I'm talking about if you started 2-strand twists, some people started quill way, some people started braiding way or instant locks. You need to look into all of those to see which one you want to start off with, because when it comes to the beginning stage before you actually mature and everything like that, all 4 of those different stages are going to look different during the journey. I highly suggest if you're going to a loctician, look at portfolios or just evidence of people that are getting their hair done and clients that they have that have similar hair types to you, or even a similar style of locks that you want. When it comes to choosing what type of locks that you want, you gotta really keep in mind the maturing process and how you want things to go as far as product usage. There's different types of locks that require different types of care throughout the maturing process for the journey. So if you have Sisterlocks, you don't really use as much products in the beginning until it kind of matures more. You have to braid and band. You have to take more steps and measures to kind of keep everything in place until it's mature. Versus if you get traditional locks, you can use oils, conditioners freely starting from the beginning. Depending on who you go to, you may be able to use oils, conditioners, and all that type of stuff in the beginning with the traditional locks or freeform locks. You honestly might be able to wait longer too when it comes to your reties. The last piece of advice that I would probably give is when it comes to choosing the locks that you want, you need to be able to envision yourself wearing those locks 24/7, being comfortable in your skin and feeling free and feeling like yourself like that all the time, because that's going to be your new natural state. So that decision is going to be your new profile. Be realistic and have patience when it comes to the process, especially when you see a specialist, somebody that specializes in locks. If they're installing it and it's supposed to look a certain way, it probably might not look that way until a certain time period in your lock journey. So be realistic, have patience, and choose a style and have fun with it. Experiment with it a little bit. Go to the beauty supply store, get some locks and try them on your hair. You could crochet them on. You could wear a lock wig. I wouldn't probably crochet. Crochet is more realistic looking, but you could try the faux locks. I've even tried the Sisterlock crochet before I actually got Sisterlocks installed. So you can kind of get an idea of how that's going to look on you before you make the decision. But that's all I have to say, you guys. I hope this video was helpful, and I will be seeing you guys soon. Bye.